So, look, things we did well. I got my little sheet up here. All right, but just in comparison, team-wise, our third downs we were 50%, defense 38.5, 5 of 13. So won the third down battle. Red zone 6 of 6 for offense. We on defense limited them to they scored 2 or 3. We want to be better there, but relative to what we were doing offensively as a team, we win that category. Obviously, the rushing 185. To their 83, our average was really good between Montgomery and Gibbs. Explosives, we doubled explosives, So if you count the DPI we drew relative to one that we actually gave away, we had 13 of their 6. So, those 3 categories alone are significant. And then the takeaway, we got to take away. We took care of the football. And really should have had another one. I was just up there with Kirby. He's upset that he didn't get the other one, And but so those are significant, And I thought we ended the second quarter really well, man. Got to stop on defense, and then we just took control of that to finish the half out and leave no time. Scored points there, a touchdown. And then really even the end of the game, fourth quarter, we took control of that ball, and for the most part, we were able to put it away. What we didn't do well was obviously offensively the first 3 possessions we talked about. We got to be better there, and those are our own errors between coaches and players, and we got to clean that up, and a couple of those showed up on third down. And then just consistency on defense in the second half. But what we did well was we complemented each other, so that the defense gets a takeaway, man, we hold them until the offense can come to life. And then the offense takes over, and because of that, we come out at halftime, they're able to go down and score, and offensively, we just stayed ahead of it. We're able to answer back. So a lot of good things. Game ball winner, obviously Jared Goff played an outstanding game, and that started with the O-line. All 5 of those guys, I thought, played really, really top-tier ball for us. They were aggressive, but they also played smart up front, man. We passed a lot of things off, saw it, stunts in the run game, and they played physical. So, Gibbs, St. Brown, Josh Reynolds, Laporta, all had big games. Defense, I thought Iffy and Alex played really well. Cam Sutton on Sutton, that was a big matchup, and he did an outstanding job. And Kaminsky showed up; he was violent in there. And then special teams was Germ, which Germ every week. It would be a rare week if Germ is not probably our guy. He's such a productive player on teams for us. And then thought Pitt and Rodriguez did some good things on teams. So that was kind of the snapshot of the game overall.
Go back to your offensive line, Dan. You got a couple of those guys that were questionable coming in. Ragnow's brother let it be known that he had a meniscus surgery a couple weeks before. We know you've got a affinity for guys that tough it out when you need it. Just your appreciation, I guess, of what Ragnow went through in that 2-week stretch to get back out there for you.
Well, look, man, I know what that's like. There's nothing easy about that. And but I can tell you this: when it was done, I called Frank on the way out, and he probably didn't even remember it because what he was on. But I know this: he did say, "I'll be back for the next game. I'll be back by practice on Wednesday." And sure enough, he was. And every day he kept telling me, "I'll be ready next week. I'll be ready next week." And so that's how Frank is. Frank's going to will himself to. His mind controls his body, which we talk about all the time, and the good ones can do that. And no, he's what you already know. He's a tough dude, and he's a mind over matter. But ultimately, what it's about for him, I just go back to this. You can call it what you want. He is terrified of letting his teammates down. Like that means more to him than anything. That's just the way he is, and that's why guys respect the hell out of him.
Play at such a high level despite it all. The toe, obviously, he's been dealing with that for a couple of years. He had the calf earlier. Just some guys, that's what
it is. Just right between here, right here. That's it. And you don't know what or why or how, but there's And if you knew that, right? If you knew that when it came time to go to the draft entirely, you don't know, but to find whatever that is, truly find it, and you could make a lot of money if you could identify that, because that is something that it's hard to find a true test for or to know, you know. But that's what it is, because he's got ability, he's tough, he's all the, you know. But it's that difference maker in him that just kind of wheels him stuff to overcome issues, adversity, whatever you want to call it.
You're in a unique spot where you play the Vikings twice in the next 3 weeks and maybe 3 times in 4 weeks. How do you account for that, if at all, in the game plan? Like, what does that mean, I guess?
Well, luckily right now, this will be the first time that we faced them. And honestly, they're a different team than they were last year. Certainly defense, you know. Coach Flores has got them. I mean, this is a different style now. This is totally different than what we faced last year. The personnel's different, but just the scheme alone and the way they play. So this is entirely new. This will be something fresh to us. To be able to study, to watch, to game plan. And then even their offense, you know, they're a little different. They're a little different than what they've been doing. You know, some of the run game's different. They haven't had Jefferson in a while. You know, Addison's playing really, really good football right now outside, and so he's kind of been the focal point. They still have Hawk inside, and now they're getting Jefferson back, and so, you know, there's a couple of things they're really opening up more in the pass game, and the run game's a little different. So the most part, it's a little bit of a fresh take on them, somewhat, you know. That's a good thing. And so our whole focus is, this is the first one. So let's dive into this. Let's put the best game plan we can. We can't worry about the game 2 after this, after Dallas. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. So we can't hold anything back. I mean, this is it, you know. Everything's about finding a way to get this one in the best game plan we can possibly put together.
Yeah, Dan, you haven't had any losing streaks in this game, or this season, I should say. Is there something about the makeup of this team that they've been able to, you know, not get into, even lose 2 in a row?
Well, yeah, there is something about it. I mean, that's why we constructed it the way we did. I mean, certainly you're looking for guys that you believe can play the positions they do, but you got to be made up a certain way too, you know. And because that's what this league is. It is about the obstacles you face, the adversity, the pressure that is put on you from the outside that you have to be able to block out. And I just feel like we have the right type of guys. And I go back to this. The best way to say it is, man, do we have guys that endear themselves to their teammates? Like, that's got to be a quality you have. And if it's not, it's hard for you to stay here with us. That's important, because if you endear yourself to your teammates, the way you go about your business, the way you communicate, the way that you just, you know, you interact with them, then those guys are probably going to want to battle with you. They're probably going to want to do anything they can for you. And I just think that goes a long way in this profession, especially here we are, December. It's getting late in the year. Guys get tired. You start getting worn down. And man, this is when you really got to dig in.
Coming out of the game injury-wise, how did James Williams and Derek Barnes now look maybe potential this week?
Yeah, good. Not as far as I know. We'll see. But I think they're okay. You know, be a little beat up, but I think we're going to be okay.
You made it pretty much a foregone conclusion. You're going to clinch a playoff berth with what you were able to do Saturday. I think it's something like 99.9% or something. But if it happens,
let's go to the numbers. The numbers.
Tonight, if Seattle loses, you will officially clinch a berth. Does that mean anything, or are you past that goal and on to the next one already?
Yeah, honestly, man, we came into this saying we got to win this division. That's the goal, and that's where it is. If something happens between now and then, hey, that's all good. But that is our focus. We talked about that this morning as a team. That was the focus when we entered it, and that is still the focus, man. We're going to do everything we can to win this division, and there's nothing that's going to be easy about it, man. We got to go out to Minneapolis and face the Vikings, who are a very dangerous team, and find a way to win it and get this division.
Maybe in a couple weeks, I guess, but do you have a general philosophy on resting players for the playoffs? I mean, be it week 18 or just, once you get something locked up to give some guys.
Yeah, when we're done with the season, they're going to rest. I promise you that. They're going to get plenty of time off.
Josh Reynolds earlier. This is his third year here, and he's already trending towards like a career best year. He said he was banged up a lot last year, and then he worked his butt off through the offseason to get better.
Bring it up again, who?
Josh Reynolds.
Yeah.
Can you just speak on how he's been performing this year? It's like 3 games left. He's already trending toward a career best year.
Somebody referred to him as, this morning, I'm not going to tell you who it was, and this was not meant as a negative, but as the cockroach, because he just won't die. Like, this guy just keeps coming back, and he's endured and gone through more stuff, just little things that he just refuses to, he just won't go away. He just always bounces back. And you talk about resilient, man, he's resilient and he's tough. And the number of things he does for us, the dirty work that he does for us, on top of, look at the explosives he had the other day in the game. And he drew the DPI. Like, he's one of us, man. He's one of our guys. And I kind of made the comment about one of the best pickups we had. He's one of the best pickups we've had in a 3-year period as a free agent, to be able to acquire him when we did the end of 21, because he really helped us. We kind of got up on our feet, and he's one of the reasons we did that year. And then to have him last year, and he's been a steady, reliable piece, somebody that golf trusts, and he really is a guy you can count. You're going to get some explosives out of him. And I've said this before, we put so much stuff on him. The amount of volume we put on him to play the X and the Z between the pass game, the run game, the motions. We do a lot, and he can absorb it all, and he's productive.
Cockroach name is the Serpent retired?
Yes, sir.
Say it again.
So now with the cockroach name, is the Serpent retired?
No. He's still there, and he's really the mantis. But that was just, all right. It's a positive, all right? I meant that as a positive.
Was that game Saturday night? You hadn't played your best ball in maybe 3 weeks. You come out and maybe put together your most complete game of the season to get back to doing what you guys are capable of doing.
Yeah, of course it feels good, but like there again, I don't think any of us are surprised. This is, there's nothing that surprises me about this league, about just knowing our team, how it was constructed, where we're at, about anything that's happened. The things that don't go your way and the things that you do will to happen that go your way. That's the nature of this league. And so, yeah, it feels good, but I'm not surprised either. And, we took care of the football. Our details were better in a lot of areas. And because of that, we played pretty clean, and that serves us well.
Situation before as a coach with the Saints trying to lock down a division title. And are there lessons from that apply here, especially with a team that maybe hasn't done this together before?
Look, I think the biggest thing is, there's always lessons to be learned, but I think we're living through one of them right now, and that is don't listen to the outside world, because I don't know. I'm sure it's going to be, now we're talking about seeding. Now we're fighting for the number 2. Man, we were fighting to win this division, just like we started at the end of the year. And then once you get in the tournament, it gives you the best chance to bang away. And so that focus doesn't change. And so for us, man, that's all you got to worry about. Let's clean up what we can clean up. We cleaned up the things from the Denver game with the team today. This is where we got to get better. So what we did well, this is where we continue to go. We're going to put together a great game plan for these guys. And we'll know what we have to do against Minnesota. If you just stay focused on that, and as this thing goes and it gets tighter and you start getting further, I think a lesson you learn is guys are you got to be careful, because as it starts tightening up, guys are going to want to start, if it doesn't go your way, you can begin to try to do too much. And that's where, man, just fall back to your training and trust what the coaches are telling you and what your teammates, his job, and you'll be fine. But if you start pressing too much to try to make plays, because you can smell it, you can feel it, that's where you can run into problems too.
Do you feel that was happening at all? through, you know, before
Not
the second.
necessarily. Like, to me, honestly, that was about turnovers. That's really, at the end of the day, we can talk about, well, if we'd have run the route a little bit, yeah, all of those play into it, but if we take care of the ball and we get takeaways, we win the turnover battle. Let's just start there. If we just win the turnover battle, I think some of that doesn't even happen. And a lot of that is a product of what happens after those, right? You get put in a situation you don't want to be in. And so it's as simple as that. It's not easy, but it is simple when you just look at it in that regard. Okay, thanks.